Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie.
Hello, you've reached the Pew Pew Jew mortuary. You kill him, we chill him. How can I help you?
I'm looking for Yehuda, please.
This is him. What's going on, Charlie?
Yehuda, how are you, man?
I'm great.
Did you just start a new business?
I know. I'm not going to say I didn't, but no, I used to actually pick up my high school telephone, the office number. Sorry, when I was in high school, when the secretary wasn't around, I would sometimes answer the phone with that line.
Nice.
And get in trouble. And it was fun.
That's cool, man. That is cool. So I'm repurposing shows, some older shows, and particularly this is one of my older shows. Not to show our age, of course, but I'm going back and repurposing shows and talking to previous guests that I've had, and I'm talking with them again, catching up with them, and I'm repurposing the show and writing an article called Writing Shotgun with Charlie for Armed Lifestyle magazine, and I thought I would reach out to you since you are a busy guy in the gun community.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. What do you want to talk about?
All right, so let's talk about the Pew Pew Jew and how you came up with this this idea for this brand.
Yes. Okay, so the Pew Pew Jew actually was given to me. I did not personally write it. I personally did not come up with it. I was talking, and I really am upset with myself. I forgot who I was talking to, although I'm pretty sure I know who it was. I was writing my children's book on the 27 words of the Second Amendment, and while I was talking to this Second Amendment historian, he started laughing. He's like, you're kind of like the Pew Pew Jew. And I'm like, whoa, hey, ho, let's totally run with that. So I called my designer, who has done 6 out of 8 of my books, and I was like, hey, man, listen, I need a logo that has the words the Pew Pew Jew, a gun, and a Star of David all wrapped in one. And 3 days later, this is what I came with. And bam, it just launched a brand that I never imagined or thought of, and I just rolled with it.
That is really cool. I thought you had this before. Like, I thought you've been doing that, using the Pew Pew Jew moniker for a number of years.
Well, I have. The Pew Pew Jew originated in 2000, middle of 2018. That's kind of when it first launched. But the idea came at the beginning of 2018. Mm-hmm. And my first book came out the beginning of 2017.
Gotcha. Very cool. I love it, man. I've told a number of people, I said, hey, I'm friends with the Pew Pew Jew, and they're like, the what? And I'm like,
you anti-Semite.
and I said, he's a Jewish guy that likes to shoot, and he's got a great brand. And I always tell everyone, I'm like, he's got books out. He's got these really cool T-shirts with clever designs and logos and stuff on them, and it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It really has been a blessing to be able to come up with the ideas, because I'm an ideas guy. I mean, you've known me for close to 6 years now, and I've always been an ideas guy. I'm always coming up with ideas, but now I actually have a platform that allows me to capitalize on my ideas and actually bring the ideas to life. And it's fantastic that I have that opportunity.
I absolutely love it. When I think of something funny, I always think to myself, man, how can I put this on a T-shirt, and is it worth, the time and energy to figure out how to do that? And I always talk myself out of it. But I remember in 2020, with all of the mostly peaceful riots that were going on, there was there was an image that was going around of this news reporter, and it said somebody was throwing some Mazel Tov cocktails. And I sent it to you, and I'm like, aren't all cocktails Mazel Tov cocktails? And
so that's actually really funny, and just quickly, because someone sent me that. Within an hour after it was posted, someone sent me that image of the reporter. I think it was MSNBC or CNBC or something like that. That said, "Hey, Mazel Tov cocktails." And I mean, within, I would say, an hour of that coming out, I had a shirt on my website up and running that said Mazel Tov cocktails. That has a picture of a rabbi holding 2 Molotov cocktails.
That is so cool. I mean, that is so cool that you're quick and you're witty, and you can crank something like that out and put it out right away. Because honestly, this is one of the things that you got to try to capture when you're trying to, whether it's generating memes or selling T-shirts or things like this. You've got to hop on the things that are new and cool, because it's in no time it's going to disappear, and you've got to capitalize on it when you can.
No, 100%. Because you have to be paying very close attention to everything. For like another good example would be, do you remember? Was it 2019? Maybe there was that terrorist in London, and I think they were on the London Bridge, and some random dude got a tusk of a narwhal.
Oh yes, of course.
Right. So. Within minutes of that story hitting the web, I had a shirt that had a picture of a narwhal with an individual being skewered by it. The guy was the terrorist was holding a knife, so my guy was holding a knife too, and he's being skewered by the narwhal, and it says "just skewer it" with a kind of like a Nike,
the Nike
kind
swoosh.
of a take on Nike, yeah. Just do it. So this is just skewer it. And I sold a bunch of them, and then within a month, the story went away, and I took the shirt down because it was a dead story. But you capitalize on it quickly, and you get it out fast. That way, you make some money and have fun with it and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the old the thing from years and years ago with the "Don't tase me, bro."
Exactly.
You've got to be on top of it and ready to strike and get the shirts out really quickly. That's so cool, man. That's so cool. So you've got a website that has a store with all your shirts and hats and all your swag, right?
Yes, I have a website called the Pew Pew Jew, and you can get signed copies of my books, and I have a ton of T-shirts and hoodies and mugs and flags and just random stuff, all that are pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment. Most of them have a Jewish twist to it. And as a lot of people ask me, is it anti-Semitic if we buy, my shirt that has a big picture of a pig? It says gun control is not kosher. They're like, is it anti-Semitic if we wear it? And my response to them is always, it's anti-Semitic if you don't wear it. So
that's great.
I'm like, it's anti-Semitic if you don't promote my business and, if you don't help me buy my swag. So
right.
It's a lot of fun. I have a good time with it.
That's cool. I bought back when Elizabeth Warren was the thing. And it was just after she came out about how much of an Indian she really was. You put out a brown shirt with a lever action rifle on it that says, "I'm not 1024th anti-gun." Or anti-Second Amendment.
Like I said, you gotta run with it and capitalize on it. One of my big sellers right now is after it came out that Marjorie Taylor Greene posted something along the lines on Facebook that said that the California wildfires from a few years back were started by space lasers owned by the Rothschilds. So I immediately made a shirt with a space gun, I guess call it a space laser, that had a Star of David on it, and it said, "Now I have a Jewish space laser, oi, oi, oi," kind of like the,
right.
A homage to Die Hard.
To Die Hard, right.
Ho, ho, ho.
To John McClane.
So, I kind of, you got to run. You got to run. You got to capitalize. You got to have a good time with it. And you just got to be paying attention, because the next great idea could be right under your fingernails. And if you don't jump at the opportunity, who knows what's going to happen? Yeah,
totally. I love it, man. I love that you're on top of it like that. I really do. You put out, since the last time we talked, since I had you on the passenger seat in Dallas, you put out a number of newer books. You put out the 27 Words book. Tell us about that real quick.
So 27 Words is a children's guide to the Second Amendment. It touches on all the aspects of what the Founding Fathers' original intent was. So I'm not talking about some people say if you put the comma here, this is what it means. I just break down the words, what is a militia? What does well-regulated mean? Things like that. And like I said, what the Founding Fathers' original intent of the Second Amendment was, that's what I cover.
That's really cool. I don't know if you've ever seen that video of, I think it's Red Skelton, a comedian from a long time ago, where he breaks down the Pledge of Allegiance. Have you seen this video?
No, but I like Red Skelton, so now I'm going to have to go YouTube it.
I think it's Red Skelton, but it's some old comedian that breaks down the Pledge of Allegiance word for word. And I've seen that a number of times on all the social medias and stuff. When I saw you come out with your book, I was like, oh man, I kind of had an idea to make a video breaking everything down like that and explaining that well-regulated doesn't mean we have regulations. It means that we all work well together. And kind of breaking things down like that. And it was one of these things I thought I could do with green screen, but I never took the time to do it. But it was one of those things I thought would be kind of cool.
You can definitely feel free to use my book and make a video like that.
All right. Very nice. We'll split the proceeds, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Half of nothing is still nothing, correct?
Exactly. Hey, I'll take what I can get.
No, totally. What other books have you come out with? Oh,
God. Since our interview, I came out with 27 Words. I came out with the ABCs of Guns, which is literally a picture book to teach your kids about the ABCs. A is for ammunition and AR-15. B is for barrel and bipod. So literally an ABCs of Guns book. Then I came out with a book called 10 Little Liberals, which is a brutal take on what happens when a liberal idea is confronted with a conservative idea, which is a black and white illustrated book. Kind of funny, but you have to have a sense of humor for that. After that book came 105 explosive gun jokes.
Right.
So yeah, that is the ultimate corny dad joke book. All gun related, so it's a lot of fun. If you, as I say, if you want to piss your wife off and your kids off more, it's the ultimate corny dad joke book that's just full of just horribly cheesy jokes. Some jokes are actually funny, but overall they're just super cheesy where you just cringe. But that was the idea behind the book, just to have some fun and piss off people while doing it. So
yeah, that's just a benefit, right?
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just a good clean book that, like I said, it'll drive everyone crazy. You're sitting with a bunch of friends in the gun industry, and you just start rattling off some of these jokes, and they're all going to be throwing the tomatoes at you and telling you to shut up, but they're all going to be laughing at the same time.
That's awesome.
So that's that one. After that book came, what came next? Oh, came 10 Little Gun Grabbers, which is similar to 10 Little Liberals. It's kind of a countdown. 10 little gun grabbers doing A, met by a certain notion, and then one runs away. And that one is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It takes on all of the anti-gun measures that gun grabbers are trying to take away. Red flag laws and bump stocks, and it kind of just pokes fun at gun grabbers. Mm-hmm. Which I enjoy doing immensely. And the last book came out last year, and this book is one of probably my second most successful book behind my safety book that I wrote, my gun safety book for kids. My latest book to come out is called Bullet Points: Reasons Why America Should Embrace Common Sense Gun Law.
Now, the title itself makes people, would certainly take the pro-gun crowd, folks, and get their panties in a twist.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a true blessing, this book, because it showed me how many people judge a book, literally judge a book by its cover. And, the rollout for the book was so much fun, because from the moment I had the idea until I actually got it published was about 3 months. So I turned this idea around fast as hell. And what made it so much fun is I realized with a book like this, you needed to kind of build up a media campaign, if you will.
Right.
So there were certain people that I reached out to. One of the ones that really helped launch the book was Jill McDaniel from Mom at Arms.
Oh, she's great.
Who I love to pieces. She's an amazing person. And I called her up, and I'm like, hey, Jill, listen. I know you're an investigative journalist. I know you don't take BS, and I know you'll go after anyone who's anti-gun. I said, but the reason why I'm calling you is because this is my idea for this book. And immediately her first reaction was like, oh my God, can I please have fun? And I gave her free reign to do whatever she wants. And that included, she started posting across social media. Has the Pew Pew Jew sold out? Is he a redcoat? Has he compromised? Has he compromised on the Second Amendment? And there was some real talk, to the point where I was losing followers on social media. People really began thinking that I was compromising on my very public stance of being a 2A absolutist. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of people were messaging me. I had people in the industry, in the firearms industry, call me up and say, like, dude, what is the deal? We're hearing that, you're kind of going to the dark side. And there were certain people who I said, hey, do me a favor. You've known me for years. If you trust me, just go along with the ride, and I promise you everything will come to light, in the next month.
Right.
I said, just don't throw me under the bus yet. If you do not like the book, when the book comes out, feel free to trash me.
Right.
And some people are like, hey, that's all. We hear you. We'll give you a chance. Then there were some people who are real movers and shakers. And I was just like, hey, this is what I'm doing, so don't trash me yet. And they were like, okay, this is amazing. We cannot wait to be a part of this book and just, get out there. And if I remember, about a week and a half before the book actually was published, I let Jill McDaniels, again, from Mom at Arms, I let her we got wind of what the what the title of the book is and what the cover looks like, and we will tell you we are officially putting the Pew Pew Jew on notice, especially because, again, it's called Bullet Points, Reasons Why America Should Embrace Common Sense Gun Law. And it was fantastic because she literally put me on public notice that she will destroy me if I don't rescind my book. And she played her part so well. Oh, and I love her for it because she really got a serious buzz going. And then when the book came out, I can tell you immediately I lost around 200 to 300 followers on Instagram within an hour of me, putting the cover of the book out. Right. And I knew that was going to happen. And then I was like, hey, you know what? That's fine. It's going to happen. Go with the flow. You'll get those followers back. And when people began to realize what the book actually was, I had people, the best are the people who are, the best are the people who are like, we thought you sold out and, we got your book and it's not really that funny. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys just do not have a sense of humor and that's fine. Right. There's no reason you want to be upset. That's fine. I don't care. And then there were other people who were like, all right, man, we saw the cover of the book. We wanted to hate you, but we've been following you for long enough to know that you had something up your sleeve. So we bought this book. And then when it came, not only did we love it, we went and bought 3 more copies for our anti-gun sister-in-law and our, my dad who's pro-gun, and people were absolutely loving it. And I'm sad to say, though, I know it just changed recently, so I definitely have to check it out and, let you know. But since the book came out over a year ago, there was a solid 90% 5-star rating, and then 90% 5-star rating, and then a 10% 1-star rating on Amazon. There was no 2, 3, or 4 stars. Right. And just recently, I got another review from a guy from a company called Tremis Dynamics, who I met at SHOT Show, and he actually put my book, Bullet Points, as the #1 new product that he saw at SHOT Show. Versus any new guns, any new little knickknacks that any company came out, my book was his #1 new product. And that kind of boosted my rating to 4.7 stars. So now I'm at 92% 5-star and only 8% 1-star. But again, there's still no 2, 3, or 4 stars. So right. It's been a great rollout. It's been a lot of fun. I actually posted a 1-star review that I got from Amazon last week or 2 weeks ago on my Instagram account. Yeah. And this was hilarious because someone who was following me messaged me. It was like, oh my God, that was my review. But he goes, I thought I gave you a 1-star review because I thought the book truly was blank. And I thought Amazon messed up. So I gave it an automatic 1-star review. So I returned it. I reordered it just to realize that I totally got played. And he goes, and I never went back to fix it. And the guy, I have the text messages. The guy was like profusely sorry to the point where he went on and gave it a 5-star review. A year plus after he wrote a 1-star review. Yeah. And this guy follows me, and he loves the book, and he couldn't stop apologizing, and it was fantastic. It really was hilarious. So this book was. So
hold on a second. So I pulled it up on Amazon here, and some of the top comments: 5 stars, single greatest book on gun control. 5 stars, the ridiculousness of gun control. 5 stars, great read, really covers all the necessary conversations. 5 stars, fact check passed. 5 stars, generationally exceptional. 5 stars, spot on about every topic covered. 5 stars, amazing. 5 stars, mind-changing. 5 stars, will be known as the definitive work on the subject for generations to come. I mean, these are incredible reviews.
Yeah, they're awesome, and really, I love the fact that people, like you said, right? Like that will be the definitive, will be known as definitive work on the subject for generations. Like the guy, it wasn't just he wrote that; he went through and then meticulously researched and well written. No one has summed up this debate quite as well. Highly recommended for all your friends on any side of the gun debate. So like, people actually took their time to write hilarious reviews, and to this day, and I will give you credit, Charlie, because to this day, your review of bullet points, I've had some really good ones and some really funny ones, but the compliment in your review for bullet points is still my favorite one. And I literally I literally will tell people, I'm like, yeah, my buddy Charlie Cook, hands down, gave me the best review. And they're like, oh, what was it? I'm like, Remer puts the troll in gun control.
Exactly.
And that's a near perfect review, especially because the book does troll everybody, right? Yeah. Whether you're on the right side or left side of the aisle, pro-gun, anti-gun. I mean, just from the fact that I had to explain to people in the industry, guys, this is what I'm doing. I'm literally trolling everybody in the country. So like, saying that I put the troll in gun control is just, it was the perfect review for me. And so yeah, I will never, ever forget that one.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. So we need to know what is in the book.
Nothing. Literally, there's nothing in the book. It's 220 pages of blank pages.
Unbelievable.
So all my reasons why America should embrace common sense gun law, and the pages are blank because there are no reasons why we should be embracing common sense gun law. So yes, when you to answer your question as succinctly as Ben Shapiro's review, he wrote my book was comprehensive. There is nothing in the book, blank pages. But the best part is every page still has a page number.
Yeah, you've got header, chapters, the whole deal.
Oh yeah, this book literally looks exactly like a real book, and it has everything that a real book has, including a bibliography. The only thing this book doesn't have is words on the pages.
Yeah, one of the reviews here on Amazon is a 1-star review. It says, no words, literally. That is such it is such a genius move. Like, oh my God, like that was just a fantastic idea.
And the best part is, and it kind of hit me a little later on, when I had a ton of, people see this book and they're like, man, such an easy idea. I wish I would have thought of it, and everyone always wonders, like, am I ever going to come up with that one idea?
Right.
That it would be like, I wish I would have thought I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah, and totally.
This was bullet points, and I'm not gonna say I'm the first one. I definitely had inspiration from Michael Knowles' book, Reasons to Vote for Democrats, and there's actually an entire Wikipedia page that Chris Lash, Dana's husband, sent me of like the same idea. Like this book is the idea of having a blank book has been around for a long time, and I'm just one more added to that. So I'm going to say it's not an original idea. However, there is no one that did it in the gun industry, and I'm glad that not only did I do it, but I feel that I actually did it right. It wasn't just a cover and then blank pages.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a table of contents, and there's a bibliography and page numbers. Again, it looks like a real book except for the words. This is my my great idea that I wish someone would have done it that I did.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I had another friend of mine was telling me about a friend of his that wrote some motivational book for like junior high and high school kids, and he said he would sell these books that had blank paper in it and had lines to fill out, and the kids had to fill things out, and what's this goal, what's this dream, what's this that you want to do, how much money do you want to make, what kind of house, what kind of career, whatever. And he said literally he would sell the books to the school, he would go to a speech, and the kids would fill the book out on their own. He's like, I'm selling them blank paper is really what I'm selling them. And I'm like, that is a great idea. But this really takes the cake, man.
Thank you.
This is awesome. All right, real quick, let's talk about some of the other cool shirts that you've made. I think the shirt that I've seen a lot of people bicker about is the People with ARs shirt.
Yes, that shirt. Once again, I cannot take credit for that. I posted something, and then one of my followers commented with a similar phrase. And, I messaged the guy personally and said, hey, I really like that comment. Would you mind if I took that and put that on the shirt? He goes, it's all yours. Don't even worry about it. You don't have to even give me anything. Like, the guy, he was a really cool follower. He's like, hey, it's all yours. And I kind of changed the wording a little, and the shirt reads, people with ARs don't get in cattle cars. Mm-hmm. And it went mega viral to the point where I have friends in my community who, being the only Orthodox Jew doing what I'm doing, people in my community don't understand what I do, or they don't understand, they don't really get the idea or the concept of how far I've taken the whole Pew Pew Jew brand. They don't realize that I'm on a level that a lot of people wish they can get to. And I'm not trying to say this to be egotistical, but Charlie, you've been there since literally day one, and you've seen me put the hard work in and the late nights, and how hard I've worked. So, I have people in my community who are on random groups on Facebook and Instagram and all these other social media platforms. And that shirt that I was wearing, the picture that still is making its rounds. My daughter took that in our backyard. My 10-year-old daughter took that on iPhone. And, I have friends who are like, hey, man, someone just posted that picture of you with your gun in the backyard. And they're like, that's so cool. They're like, that's crazy. Like, and it's amazing because I'm like, okay, like, you guys don't understand. Like, I've literally built an entire brand that's taken me 5.5 years just to get somewhat recognized in the firearms industry. There are still countless people that do not know who I am, and I understand that it's going to take more hard work, and that's what I'm putting in and day out. But that shirt, people with ARs don't get in candle cars, ruffled a ton of feathers on a lot of people. A lot of them were upset with me. A lot of people in the Jewish world, like, oh, you're just capitalizing on the Holocaust. I'm like, I wouldn't have been capitalizing on the Holocaust, but like, my point is that if more Jews had rifles and ARs and had a platform to defend themselves, we wouldn't be in cattle cars. So, my message is for Americans not to give up their ARs. Yeah. So, yeah.
I absolutely love it. I've got a woman, I call her my surrogate Jewish mother, and at the towards early on in the pandemic, she reached out to me and she's like, hey, I know you're a gun guy, I know you're an instructor, you're an activist, you're really involved in the gun community. Would you be interested in coming to our synagogue to talk to people about firearms and gun safety? And I'm like, oh my God, I would love to. I said, I'm honored. I'm honored to do it. But I'm also glad that you're coming around. And she's like, oh, it's not for us. We don't want to own any guns. I'm like, are you serious? Right. Like, come on. You want, yeah, it's, I mean, even with non-Jewish people and whatever, anti-gun folks or like we call them the gun agnostics, to try to get them converted to become gun owners is, sometimes it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It's an uphill battle, especially in the Jewish world. But you just keep doing it, and hopefully you change a few minds along the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, we need to start wrapping things up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to get back and spend some time with me talking about everything you've been up to and the successes you've had with your books and with your shirts and everything, and with the amazing brand you have, the Pew Pew Jew. How can people find you on all the social media, your website? How can they buy these shirts, buy these books?
Yeah, absolutely. Across social media, everywhere you go, it's the Pew Pew Jew. That's PEWPEWJEW. So it's the Pew Pew Jew. And then if people are interested in my merchandise or getting signed copies of my book, they can go to thepewpewjew.com.
All right, very cool. So Instagram, Facebook, and a website. That covers it all, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Very cool. Well, listen, man, it has been so much fun catching up with you. I love running into you at GRPC and at SHOT Show. And last year at AMCON, we actually did a little presentation together where we talked about putting humor into our presentations to make them more fun and more memorable. And I'm a firm believer that if you can, when you're networking, if you're talking to people, if you can make them laugh, then that will make them like you. And once they like you, then they'll start to remember you. And I really think that's an important thing for us to do. And, we have a serious topic that we're involved with, but we can still have some fun and have some laughs with it and, poke fun at ourselves and still have fun with it is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, was it they said that they want us to speak for 2 hours together this year? I think Susan said something like that. She's like, "Oh yeah, you and Charlie were so good. We're gonna do 2 hours."
Oof. Okay. Well, if
we got robbed. There's no question about that. We got robbed.
Right.
At least of 10 minutes.
Of 10 minutes.
So, 10 minutes. We got robbed.
Right.
So
we'll do 40 minutes.
In order to make it back, they're giving us 2 hours. But yeah, but I was thinking, and the dramatic reading of bullet points was a total bust.
Oh man!
So it was brutal. So obviously, if we end up doing our thing together, I'm gonna ask. I want to definitely start off asking everyone: do they remember the brutal and horrible dramatic reading of bullet points? And when everyone says yes, I'm going to turn it around on them and explain to everyone that was a test to show you what not to do.
Right. Right. You can always be a good bad. You can always be a bad example.
Save face a little. This is what you're not supposed to do. Right. But I'm glad you guys all remember that part.
Yeah. Thanks for remembering. All right, listen, man. I got to cut you loose. Thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Absolutely, Charlie.
Thanks for being on catching up on this interview, and we'll put links to everything. And I appreciate your time, man. I love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you very much, Charlie. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. Take care.
All right, you too.